only one I want to talk about. It'll be very brief. I didn't know who Candace Owens was. I know she had a large following. I know the right wing loved her. And suddenly she started to link my commentary to her site, and we got a lot of visitors through Candace Owens. So the more I looked into it, the realization occurred to me that she is nothing different than a black racist of mind. Now, let's just use logic for 2 minutes and I'll put to rest the lies that Candace Owens is putting out about Jews. And she's going to wind up getting Jews killed if she keeps it up. Let me be very clear. She's not nuts. She's not nuts at all. She just has latched on to a methodology to get morons to listen to her and tries to put pieces together that don't match. So she says that Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk, or Israel killed Charlie Kirk, more specifically. Well, let me ask you something. If that was true, how long do you think Candace Owens would be breathing? If Netanyahu and Mossad is so all-powerful and so demonic that they could kill people in Lebanon with exploding pagers, they can kill people in Iran who develop nuclear weapons, but they can't get to Candace Owens, some loser from Nowhereville, some Palookaville nobody who dropped out of college, who has no degrees and claims she has 2 degrees. Yes, that matters. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We had enough of Al Sharpton. We had enough of, who was that preacher? Who I don't even see if he's around anymore, the black nationalist preacher. He preached the same for years. The Jews did this, the Jews did that. Let me tell you something. That's the rhetoric that's going to get people killed, Candace. Shut your mouth. Period. And don't link me. I don't need you. I've been around long before you. I don't need your goddamn audience to follow me. They can all go themselves if that's the they believe in. And I don't give a damn if you don't like me cursing. I've had enough of this. Charlie Kirk loved Israel. He spoke highly of Israel. And she says they killed Charlie Kirk. Do you understand how dangerous her rhetoric is? This nobody from Nowhereville, this nowhere palooka, this nothing, this uneducated dolt who came out of nowhere and attracted an audience of unwashed morons who want to hate Jews and blame Jews for the loss in their own life. You don't have a girlfriend, it's the Jews. You lost your job, it's the Jews. Now, don't get me wrong. I have criticized liberal Jews my entire career. I hate liberal Jews more than you can imagine. I hate Larry David. Let me be very clear. I think he's a piece of shit. I hate Adam Schiff. I think he's vermin. I hate Charles Schumer. I think he's the lowest kind of Judenrat from the concentration camps. So don't put me in the category of the Judenrats and the Larry Davids. But on the other hand, try to use your brain for 2 seconds. You Nazi bastards, you. You believe this black racist who says the Jews killed Charlie? Nothing good could come of that other than some unhinged lunatic like the trans-loving prick who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk can go crazy and kill some Jews in a synagogue because of this deranged black who's making a bundle demonizing Jews the same way Hitler did. She's a Louis Farrakhan in a dirty skirt. I'll admit it's late at night. And I'll admit that I can't take any more of this blaming of the Jews. I know that most Christians don't go along with the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons. They're making a fortune by demonizing Jews, and they say it's only Israel. They're full of shit. They're full of shit, by the way. So I'm going to end the way I began. It's a very short one. You're going to use logic and reason. The same Netanyahu, the same Mossad that she says killed Charlie Kirk because he was softening on Israel, couldn't kill her in 2 seconds. The same people who half of the Hamas in Lebanon, the same Jews who blew up Iranian nuclear scientists, the same Mossad couldn't kill this black racist if they wanted to. How stupid can you people be? How dumb can you be? The answer is endlessly dumb. I have nothing more to say. I've proven my point. Candace Owens, I don't need your linking my podcasts or my tweets. I don't need it. I was around long before you were. No one ever heard of you. All of a sudden, you come along and you find a new shtick. Hate the Jew. And look at this. Look how brilliant that black person is. You call her a conservative? She's no different than any of the black haters from Black Lives Matter. She's no different than the Palestinian Liberation Organization that blew up Jewish children in buses. She is no different than any of the Jew haters that I've seen in my entire life. And I've taken all day to think about speaking about this. I don't know where Tucker is coming from. What's he, desperate for an audience? Who the is Tucker Carlson anyway? Who the made him God Almighty on a pedestal? You, Tucker. Stop with the Jew hatred, Tucker. You're with your bow tie. You're a liberal. You're a liberal while I was crapping conservative bricks, you schmuck, you. You're going to get Jews killed outside synagogues, you. And that's all I have to say. All of you anti-Semitic bastards. And if you don't like it, it's too bad. And I am glad. I am glad. No, Jews didn't get Mr. Savage. Stop it, you stupid, low-life Nazi shit. No one got Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage understands reality. Mr. Savage is a Jew. Mr. Savage is a true conservative Jew, as are 30% of Jews in America.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jordan Report, and I am your host, Robert Jordan. Everyone, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, guys, that was Michael Savage, the talk show host, literally threatening the life of Candace Owens, saying if we can kill anybody on this planet, we can easily kill you. That's what he just said. People, I knew at some point Candace would run across this. I've been doing this a lot longer than her. Probably longer than she's been alive. But I could tell you at this point, she is in danger, and I hope she's taking it serious. These people have no problems killing other human beings, as we're witnessing ourselves. But anyway, we're going to start here, and then we're going to go a little bit further into this thing. The assassination plot against Candace Owens and what it means for free speech. People, a foreign nation is threatening an American citizen over things she is saying. This is from the Black Westchester. Candace Owens, the most downloaded podcaster in the world, recently claimed that a foreign-backed assassination plot was orchestrated against her. It's an explosive allegation, one that any functioning democracy should treat with gravity, not ridicule. But instead of investigation or inquiry, the response from the political establishment and major media was immediate dismissal. That instinct to mock rather than examine threatens our collective right to free speech. Our core value must all defend. We must all defend. You have to understand what's happening, people. Your government is so subservient to another nation that they can't even defend their citizens against assassination. We just watched them kill Charlie. But here's the original post that kicked this off. Our show will be off the air this week. As an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination, per a source close to the first couple. Also, I will again state that the French legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. For all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling the truth. And if she wasn't, they would have already said she's not telling the truth. Okay? So I hope that she's paying attention, because when you hear Jews making threats against her, the way they are doing, her life is in danger.
Why do you people keep going back to the well of Candace Owens? The don't deliver. The has not delivered. She's always like, I got receipts. Where are the receipts? What makes you happy, Candace Owens? You're a mother of small children. You seem miserable. And you seem more and more miserable as the days go on. Why are you talking about Charlie Kirk less than a week after he was killed in cold blood? Let his wife do that. You're not his wife, bitch. You're a groupie. Let's not forget just a few weeks ago, kooky Candace Owens, miserable Candace Owens, rotten Candace Owens interviewed Harvey Weinstein from jail. And her big reveal was nothing. You don't deliver on anything. She's like, I got receipts on Charlie Kirk. I got receipts on Israel and the Mossad. And they had to, where are the receipts, bitch? You never deliver the receipts. You get people watching and you don't deliver. It's Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. You never deliver. Now you got yourself in a big pile of shit with Macron and his wife. I hope they sue you, bitch. Where are the receipts, bitch? You miserable dog. I'll tell you something. The Mossad, Israel, Charlie Kirk wasn't on the list. There's way more important fish to fry than Charlie Kirk. You were chasing after Kanye. What happened with you and Kanye? What happened with you and Kanye, Candace? What really happened with you and Kanye West? There's allegations. People are saying things. I can't confirm or deny. Me personally, I have no proof. I can't believe that you would do so because you're a Christian, right? You're a Christian, right, Candace? You're such a devout Christian. You don't act like a Christian.
All right, that was Michael Rappaport making some very rude and disrespectful comments towards Candace. And the fact is, the Jews do talk like that when they're threatening you, when they're putting an X on your back, when they're putting a target on your head, okay? And so Candace is taking this serious. This is a latter post where she's describing what's happening to her. And it's important to know because it leads me back into the second part of this report. Our show will be off the air this week. As an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination per a source close to the first couple. Also, I will again state the French Legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. For all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling you the truth. Okay, now that leads you to the CIA, the FBI, Mossad, and that leads me to the next part of this report.
Now, I know what they do because I used to ask them to do it. I mean, when I was in the Mossad, and we had a guy that gave us problems in the U.S., and he was speaking out, and he was talking like Pete talked once and said, Israel is bombing Lebanon with cluster bombs. We say, hey, who's that guy? You know? Pete Makaki, we used to call him. Yeah, which is Pete the cockroach. Because he makes a lot of noise and you can't get rid of him. So what you do is you get in touch with a guy in the station in New York or in the station in Washington. You say, tell the guys at B'nai B'rith to label him. And of course the campaign starts, and before you know it, the guy's labeled. And he's an anti-Semite. Because that's what we say he is. And that's one stain you cannot wash. Now, it shames me as a Jew to tell you that. But that's the fact.
All right, that was Victor Ostrovsky, former Mossad agent and author of the book Byway Deception. And I hope everybody find that book and read it. It's very, very informative. But anyway, he's describing much of what is happening to Candace Owens, which is how they label people. They could be labeling you to blackmail you or whatever it is. Most of the time they do that, they use the type of language that's being used on Candace. It's for your assassination. Now let me show you this killing machine that I was telling you about. How many of us knew Wikipedia had a whole page dedicated to the list of Israeli assassinations? Someone informed me of this, and I looked it up, and sure enough, it was there. And it starts in the 1950s, people. will show you these people have mastered the art of assassination. And this explains the fear and the cowardice that we see in most of these Western countries. They're afraid of being killed. Your Congress people, your senators, and all these people who show all this fear towards Israel, this is most of what it is. These people can simply kill them. But anyway, this starts in the 1950s, okay? And in the page, it goes to who was targeted, the country they were in, the person that was killed, how they were killed. In this case, it was parcel bomb, and which agency did it. This was the Israeli Defense Forces. In the 1960s, they killed a West German rocket scientist working for Egyptian's missile program. He was abducted from his office, his company office in Munich. His body was never found. Swiss police later arrested 2 Mossad agents for threatening the daughter of another scientist and found that they were responsible for the killings. This was part of Operation Damocles. This was in 1962, people. But anyway, it goes all the way to 2000s, all the way. I'll leave the link so you can see this. And some of this stuff is hair-raising, people. It really is. Describing the killings of this organization. So this is what I tell Candace. And this was what Michael Savage was saying at the beginning of this report. This is why I showed you Michael Savage bragging that they've killed people all over the world. He's not lying. So, Candace, due diligence, get your security up to speed, because you're probably going to need it for some time.
On the afternoon of September 17, 2024, Hussein Dhaney was playing on his mobile phone at home when an unfamiliar buzzing rang through the house. It was coming from his dad's pager.
بس هذه الرنة كانت كتير غريبة، ولما جيت إنه حملتها قربتها كتير على عيوني. يعني عطتني كلمة ايرور وسهم عشان اكبس اوكي. جيت بدي اكبس اوكي انفجرت.
At that moment, thousands of pagers distributed to the Hezbollah militant group were blowing up in homes, offices, shops, and on front lines across Lebanon, remotely detonated by Israel. The pager attack was stunning in its scope. It wounded more than 3,000 people and killed 12, including 2 children. In another household in the south of Lebanon, Sara Jaffal didn't have time to react after picking up the pager belonging to a family member. The explosion took her by surprise.
يعني أنا كنت هيك حميتها بالإيدتين هيك وعم شوفها هيك إنه بدي أقوم أعطيها بعدين، فما سمعت صوتها إنه انفجرت، بس فجأة عتمت الدنيا وبطلت إيش عشيء وصرت حس حالي مثل بدوامة.
Sara has had 45 surgeries in 9 months and more will come, including reconstructive surgery on her face and fingers. 2 fingers are fused together, 4 are missing. She's waiting for a prosthetic right eye and undergoing physiotherapy. Hezbollah has acknowledged that most of those wounded and killed were its fighters or personnel. However, the explosion also wounded many civilians like Sara, who was one of 4 women along with 71 men who received medical treatment in Iran. Hezbollah won't say exactly how many civilians were hurt, but said most civilians injured were relatives of Hezbollah personnel or workers in Hezbollah-linked institutions, including hospitals. Preacher Mustafa Shaib recalled that his 2 young daughters used to play with his pager, and he sometimes found it among their toys. Shaib suffered extensive damage to his hands when his pager exploded.
أنا خاضع بهيدي بس بهاي الإيد لحوالي 6 عمليات، 6 أو 7، لحتى حافظنا على هذا الشكل، وإلا كان المشهد جدا مخيف، كانت إيدي جدا متضررة.
And for Dhaney, life is not the same after the attack. He now struggles to pace his breathing. He can read with one eye, but is quickly exhausted. The family has also moved to a ground floor apartment, so he climbs fewer stairs.
هلا بعض الاشياء انه تغيرت، مثلا قبل كنت العب فوتبول او مثلا اركض او نط مثلا او اطلع على الطابق الرابع.
All right, what you just saw, people, was an assault on Hezbollah by Israel using exploding pagers. It was a story that was covered widely last year, but it tells you, people, just how deadly this machine is. It's true Hezbollah is a belligerent, okay, and they are at war with Israel, but those pagers were sent into society, the Lebanese society, and many innocent people were killed, as was shown there. Children and everything, women, anybody who were around those pagers. But anyway, the Israelis saw this as a great victory, and they handed out awards. And people, this is why I showed you that Wikipedia page. This is a vast killing machine that they have perfected over time. This started in the 50s. They perfected the art of assassination. Anyway, this goes back earlier this year to February. Netanyahu gifted Trump a golden pager at the White House meeting. Did everybody see that? The office confirmed, PM's office confirms. Referencing the Israeli operation that decimated Hezbollah, PMO says gift symbolizes Prime Minister's decision that led to a turning point in the war. Here's a picture of those pagers that they gave as gifts. The Prime Minister's office on Thursday confirmed reports that Benjamin Netanyahu gave a golden pager as a gift to President Donald Trump during their meeting at the White House on Tuesday, a reference to the clandestine operation that decimated the Hezbollah terror group. The gift symbolizes Prime Minister's decision that led to a turning point in the war and the starting point for breaking the will of the terrorist organization. Hezbollah, Netanyahu office said. People, it also tells the people over here, so you have to understand why the Americans and Westerners in general show so much fear towards Israel, okay? Because they know they can kill. It's not just the bribery, it's not just the money, it's not just the blackmail, okay? These people are in fear of these type of operations. The operation expresses the power, technology, superiority, and cunning of Israel against its enemies, according to the PMO.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu presented US President Donald Trump with a golden pager and a regular pager during their meeting at the White House. The gift, including the ordinary pager, was a reference to Israel's deadly attack on Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group using pagers that exploded in September 2024. Impressed by the gesture, Trump said that was a great operation. In return, he presented Netanyahu with a framed photo from their visit inscribed with a personal message to Bibi, a great leader.
The golden pager displayed the text that read, "Press with both hands," and was given to Trump on a trophy-style display with a placard saying, "To Donald J. Trump, our greatest friend and greatest ally, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu." You see, it could also be a threat to people or a warning. Okay? Look at it that way. That was a great operation, Trump responded to Channel 12 News. In return, Trump reportedly gave Netanyahu a photo of the two of them from the visit with the dedication to Bibi, a great leader. On September 17, 2024, thousands of pagers were used by Hezbollah across Lebanon suddenly exploded. I just showed you this, people. It was horrific. Lots of innocent people were maimed and killed, killing dozens of operatives and maiming thousands, marking the beginning of Israeli escalation against the terror group. After almost a year of persistent Hezbollah rocket fire that displaced some 60,000 residents of the north. The pagers laced with explosives were detonated via an encrypted message that requires users to hold the device with both hands, maximizing the likelihood of a subsequent blast causing debilitating injuries. They meant to do as much damage as possible, people. This is what Candace is up against. I hope she's paying attention. A day later, hundreds of walkie-talkies also blew up, killing and injuring scores more. The attack came as Israel began to step up the counteroffensive against the Iran-backed Hezbollah, which began striking Israel almost immediately after the allied Palestinian terror group Hamas' October 7, 2023 attack. The pager operation was immediately linked to Israel, which claimed the responsibility in November 2024. Oh, they brag about their work, people. They love their work.
How about giving him a beeper?
It's like
no. This is a silver-plated beeper. The real beeper is like 1/10 the weight. It's nothing.
Really?
Yeah, but it changes history.
You know, when that story, that story broke,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I love it. And now it's like, thank you for this. Yeah, no, all right. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
The pager and radio attacks were the result of a highly sophisticated Israeli intelligence operations years in the making, in which Hezbollah was fooled into purchasing the compromised devices. Don't you know there's compromised devices everywhere, people? Don't you think that they could pull something like that here? Israel invaded Lebanon 10 days after the targeted explosions, beginning with airstrikes in which most Hezbollah leaders, including Nasrallah, were killed. By the end of November, a battered Hezbollah signed a ceasefire agreement with Israel. People, it's a killing machine, and it is worldwide.
Did you see any surprises in Gaza?
Surprises?
Yeah.
Like mean intelligence surprises?
Pages, walkie-talkies. Do you know how many treated equipment do we have in these countries? You don't. I do.
You mean booby-trapped equipment?
Not only booby-trapped.
And spying?
Manipulated equipment. All right?
In which countries are you talking about?
All the countries that you can imagine.
And not Gaza?
Not Gaza.
Nothing in Gaza at all.
Did you see that? If we had it, I mean, we knew something about them coming. Something, right? I would have sold them everything. Just everything. I mean, you can't imagine the quantity when I have invented that method. That was in 2002 to 2004.
The pager method.
The manipulated equipment method. Okay? We have already used it. Manipulated equipment in Second Lebanon War. Some of the elements were speaking to us.
How did you use it?
Want a glass of water?
We can get some brandy.
He can tell you, but he didn't.
I know it's an early morning in London. I mean, I don't think that is the case. But how did we do it? I tell you.